Hello, Year 6. So, back to our narrative, back to rabbits. And you know, yesterday you created your draft. You've planned it really carefully. You've written your draft, but as you know, your draft is not going to be your final piece of writing. It's not going to be the best that it possibly can be yet. We need to be using that theory of Austin's butterfly, where we do something, we look at it, we improve it. We look at it again, we improve it. So, what I've got is three things for you to look at today. They're three things that I've taught a lot throughout the year, three things that we've looked at in quite a lot of detail. So I want you to have a look at the slides that I've put together. I want you to decide which one you're going to choose to look at first. And obviously you do need to be checking against those non-negotiables that you should be editing as you go along, but there may be times where you need to think about your punctuation, about your spelling, about actually when you're reading this, does it make sense? Is it clear what you mean? Are you going to have the intended outcome, which is to persuade the rabbits to stop? If not, then you need to change it. You need to do something about that. Now, the three things that we're going to look at today, and you're going to edit into your draft before you do your final outcome piece tomorrow, are first of all semicolons. Okay, so semicolons are, let's try and get this in the shot. So semicolon, okay, used in a couple of different ways that we've looked at. So to separate two main clauses, remember those main clauses are the ones that make sense on their own. So they have to be closely related, they have to make sense on their own. And if there is a conjunction, so in the example below, and is the conjunction, it replaces the conjunction. So it can either replace the conjunction or it could replace a full stop in some examples. So that's one way you can use it. The way that we've probably used it most commonly so far this year is to separate items within a list. Remember the example I gave you about my fried breakfast and how I could give you a really simple list, but I could also really expand on that list to give you more information about the locally reared bacon. So all of those things that we've talked about before, they need to come into this work today, okay? So look through your work. Is there an example that you could use, or a place in your work where you could use a semicolon? Could you list some of the appalling things that the rabbits have done? That could be a really nice way that you could link a semicolon into your writing. So I'd like you to look. Maybe you've got some semicolons. You just need to check whether they're correct. Or if you've not got any at all, can you add in a couple of semicolons within your writing? That'd be great to see. Now, the second thing is to do with your vocabulary. So really thinking, if you're talking about these rabbits and the negative things that they've been doing, it could become very repetitive. So make sure you're using really ambitious vocabulary and avoid repetition. So an example below is if you've used the word bad, okay, you could be using words like immoral, vulgar, detrimental, harmful. So that's going to be up to you today to look through your work. Is the vocabulary that you've used the most effective, the most ambitious? Could you really challenge yourself? Maybe look back to the year 5-6 spelling list. Are there any words on there that you can use rather than maybe some of those lower level words that we might expect to see from a younger child's writing? And the final thing I want you to look at are your modal verbs. So remember that modal verbs, they affect the level of possibility. They show whether something is really likely to happen or not very likely to happen at all. So common ones are in the list there. Just look back through your work. Are they being used effectively? Okay. Would you be saying that to the rabbits they might want to stop? Or would you be saying they should be stopping? So you are trying to persuade the rabbits to stop. You're not going to be wanting to give them lots of different choice and make them think that, oh, maybe what they're doing is okay. You want to be really, really clear with them. So double check your modal verbs, make sure they make sense. Okay, so three things for you to go back. By the end of this, I'd like you to have a well-edited piece of writing. Now, to be showing me that, it could just be taking a picture of the same piece of work you did yesterday, but with the improvements. If you've got a different coloured pen, that would be great. If not, it will be quite clear to me because I'll be able to look back at yesterday's work and today's work, and I'll be able to see those improvements. Okay, again, I look forward to seeing it on Dojo. Thank you so much for posting your great work onto Dojo. Me and Mr. Yavorski are really enjoying looking through these pieces of work, so please keep it up.